Man, you are going to have to excuse the sound of the fans. Because I might have two of them going. Because it is gutter snaping hot. I'm currently the only one in the apartment. I've got a day off and then I work for 5 days straight. Hopefully this heat dies off. I am sweaty and gross and have done all my major work for today, so I'm not doing much else. You never want to on days like this where it's just hot. You just want to and sort of feel like you're melting. Feels easier to just go with the melting than like resist the melting. Now, the reason why I say I'm not doing much of anything else today is I've already gotten up and I did dishes and I took the recycling out and I edited my 4th chapter and sent that to my prof. If I do anything else today, I've got my conclusions started because my brain decided one evening while I was taking my shower, I'm putting a shampoo in my hair, and my brain went click. I know exactly how you need to word this. And I'm just like, trying to like get the shampoo out of my hair so I can get out and write my conclusion. And I mean, like, it's not fully written, because of course I need to like include the brief recaps of everything. But like, the basic start and finish of my conclusion are now written because of a brainwave I had in the shower. Always the best places. So yeah, like, if I do anything, I'll be typing that up and putting in those recaps. But I'm not super pushing myself for it because it is gutter snaping hot out. Like I said, I've already been on my computer. I typed up some more of my sequel, which is moving along. I get some writing done because there's a position at my job that is not super interactive, and that's working the kiosk and selling admissions. So, I mean, you've got stuff to do, but you only have stuff to do if there are people there, right? Because it literally is just like this wooden kiosk that you're in, and you've got the cash box there, so you can move away from it to do like quick things, but you can't, like, I can't go and check the washrooms to make sure they're clean if I'm on the kiosk, unless I specifically ask somebody to sit at the kiosk with me. I can go and double check to make sure that the people in the children's center are fine and if they need anything. Or I can run in and get myself a water or something like that. Like, I can do things that are relatively moving or that are directly within that courtyard where I can see the kiosk and the cash box, and I can see anybody that might be interested in coming in and speak to them, right? Like, that's that position. Now, I'm not on it all the time, and they've stepped up to sort of tell us who's doing what before they left it up to us. But they've decided they're going to start more putting us places. Now, they are putting us in places that we've sort of have fit ourselves into anyways. But my 2 major spots are I'm on the kiosk, or I'm in the exhibit building, or I'm covering both the exhibit building and the children's center. And the times where I'm doing both of those, there isn't like what we call dropping crafts, where I have to be there and working with the kids, because I'm not great with little kids. Like, I can do it, but you know, with my anxiety, I'm just convinced I'm gonna accidentally kill some kid by just having him in my presence for like 2 minutes, which hasn't happened yet, so I don't know why I have that anxiety, but I do. And we've got plenty of students who are far more interested in working with kids and enjoy working with kids. So I'm only on days where we don't have those drop-in crafts, because the Children's Center is meant to be a play space for families together. So parents aren't supposed to leave their kids there. We're not supposed to really hang in there because that makes parents think they can leave their kids with us. But it's much more of a family space where the families go and work together. So I can handle that, because it's really me I swing by with if there's a family in there, and I make sure they can find everything they need. And they have everything that they need. Answer some questions if they have anything like that. And then I swing back, like, in between when families are there and it's empty, and I make sure everything's cleaned up. Because, of course, that needs to happen. They have crafts in there. You need to clean up after families are in there. In fact, yesterday I was in this position where I was floating between the two buildings, doing all the daily chores, because we have things like we need to make sure everything's swept and everything's dusted and things like that. And with the full list now of everything that has to get done on a daily basis, I actually stay fairly busy, especially during the week, because we have chores that show up on certain days that need to get done. But I'm floating between the two buildings, and a family had just come out, and they were like, really sorry, I left the place in a bit of a mess. And my coworker laughed and said, well, it's a children's center, you sort of expect that. And just sort of looked at me, and I was like, okay. Went and grabbed a broom, and I walked in, and the place was a disaster. And I was like, well, and we have music in both of the buildings. And the song switched, and all I hear is, let's get down to business. And I was like, ah! Attack! And cleaned it all up, and then had a family in there, and then had to do it all again. Because that's just what's normal. But I'd rather be busy than not busy. So when I'm on the kiosk, I generally keep my writing with me. It goes away as soon as, like, a person appears in any direction, but it keeps the time going, because even if I'm just getting a sentence every now and then, that's good. And then there are points in time where you will have big empty spaces where nobody's there, and I'm getting a few sentences down. So, like, I am trying to not only write more often, but also to use the empty time and the writing to my advantage, which is to say, use the empty time to my advantage to get writing done, but use writing to my advantage to not go stir crazy. And like I said, like, some people frown on this because it's like, well, you're not doing your job. I am. Like I said, like, I don't write a word without looking around, make sure, okay, are there people here? Do I need to pay attention to something else right now? And there have been days where I haven't had time, and the book's just stayed in the kiosk drawer and just hasn't moved. And it's not out, like, where everyone can see it. It's in a drawer. I have the drawer sitting open when I have it on my lap and I'm writing. And then it goes right away. So, and it's generally what practically all of us students do. Like, there are a lot of notebooks that are tucked in that thing where we're writing things like, I've seen people writing grocery lists, I've seen people figuring out monthly budgets and things like that, where we're all just trying to handle everything because we are working. There have been a couple of days this week where I've worked 9-hour shifts. Like, it's just, and that's a normal day. A normal day might be 8.75 hours. 8.5 at the shortest. Like, they're long days. And I got confirmed that I am working September and into October. We're back down to being only open 5 days a week, and those would be the 5 days I'm working. With my Monday and Tuesday off again. Which, I mean, I'm going to go with it. There are some positive points, and I'm learning a lot both about myself and my limits, and figuring out how much I could push those limits and where I need to ease up on the limits. And it's going to be interesting. So, yep. Work drama and hot. Why is it so hot? Ugh. Rip. Oh god, have I told you about that? The vocal tics I'm picking up from students. Rip is one. Boy is another. I started dabbing ironically and now it's just a joke. Like, oh. I'm so old. Like, the manager that works the closest with us is literally only 2 years older than me. Oh, I'm so old. Oh, I'm so old. Our younger student, like, one of our students is only 15. Like, he's not even 16. None of the guys are older than 19. Some of the girls might be 20. I'm so old. I am the grandmother of work. Maybe I should start hobbling along. I'm a little sad. I finished my last book this morning. It was really good too. Epic ending. Finally got to a place where he's been trying to get to the entire series, and I was like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for finally doing that. So, I think it'll be video games for me today. Video games and music. Talk to you later, H. And if it's hot like it's hot here, stay hydrated.